Crusader fans, thanks for joining us for the game, and it's time for one of my favorite and least favorite tasks of the year. Honoring the seniors, favorite, but also means we're saying goodbye, one of my least favorite things of the year. So I will get through our 10 seniors as quick as possible, say a few things about each of them, and just honor them in no particular order, just by the number of their jerseys, and looking forward to saying a little bit about each of these 10 seniors who have played a significant part in a season that's had some interesting ups and downs, but they have battled and not given up, and hopefully we finish on a note that really helps them see that consistency and persistence and perseverance are things that the Lord values, and that always seem to cause things to work themselves out in ways that you know God was honored in the end. So we'll start with Tanner Eisley, number one. We really appreciate the way he's jumped all in. He came up for football for the first time this year, and we're thankful that he just desires to learn and grow. And he did all the off-season lifting, all the camps, all the other stuff, and just really have seen a lot of growth in him. And he continues to become a better player all the time. And I just wish we'd had him out for more time than just this 1 year, because I think there's some good potential in him, and it's starting to come out, and we see it on the field at times as well. He's a great person who cares a lot about people. If you know Tanner at all, you know he's got a big heart and just loves being around people and doing things with others and contributing to something, and so he's been a great addition. Next is number 5, Carter Sitzman. Obviously, Carter is a hard worker. He's a guy that's got a lot of tremendous physical tools. He has grown so much physically from his freshman and sophomore year until now. It's kind of funny to think about. And a lot of that is his own hard work. Obviously, God has blessed his maturity physically in many ways, but he's worked hard as well and is to be credited for that, and I appreciate that about him. The thing, though, that I think you all need to know is that I think in the last year or so, Carter has grown just as much as a person, as a believer, in his relationship with the Lord. And that's the thing that really matters to me. For all the things that Carter is as a great player for us and someone who can really do some amazing things on the field, I'm most excited about the way the game of football has been used by God to grow him, and you can just see that in a number of ways. Really appreciate him, and have just enjoyed having him on the team these years, and we'll miss him a lot next year. But hopefully he's got some chances to play in the coming years as well in college. Number 6, Jacob Friesen. Again, just like Tanner, appreciate the way he decided to go out for football and really went all in. He's done everything in the off-season and in the summer. And we just told both Jacob and Tanner and said, hey, you will get some time on special teams no matter what, just to honor your commitment for jumping in. And they've done a great job with that, and it's been fun to see that. Thankful for the progress he's made as well. I'm really appreciative about Jacob. I think he tries with great effort. I should say, I think he gives his best effort as consistently as anyone on the team. Even though he's not really an every down player at all for us right now, but he's in on special teams and things, but he is giving a good effort all the time. I really appreciate that about Jacob. And of course, that's something that will really lend itself well in life, that willingness to do your best all the time, even if the outcomes that you most want aren't quite there yet. Number 7, Ethan Berrier. What an interesting career path Ethan has had, with being kind of thrown onto the scene as a starter for us as a freshman because of some injuries and things, and then as a sophomore having another really good season. Junior year with the hamstring injury was never really himself. Did get to play some, but it was very sporadic, and he struggled through that the whole time. And then this year has been relatively healthy and has kind of been his old self, and has played both sides of the ball and just been a great contributor. He's a guy that's got a lot to give to a team in terms of his physical abilities, but also just in terms of his willingness to have good conversations with other people and to converse with me or other coaches and help us make the team better, and appreciate that about him, and really look forward to seeing how he will use all of those things in the years to come and other things. Number 11, Gage Hohlen. Gage is the final Hohlen brother that will be on the team, and so saying goodbye to Gage and to the Hohlens in terms of their football involvement. And Jeremy's been driving the bus for a few years, and it's just always a little extra bittersweet when it's the last son, when they've had more than one son come through. So it'll be fun to see Gage move on, and to see where he ends up in future years, as he's an incredible leader. When Gage got hurt, we lost on the field production, of course, from a good player, but we really lost that on the field leadership. I think he was really going to have one of the better seasons I've ever seen in terms of leadership from one of our players, and he still really did, but it just had to look a lot different. And that willingness to shift and pivot and change things is a skill that Gage has demonstrated here that I think will be an incredible skill as he goes forward in life. If he can learn to adjust as the ups and downs of life happen and lead as well in the future as he did this year in a really weird circumstance, being injured all year, he's going to be an incredible contributor to a family, to a church, to a business, whatever it may be. So really thankful for him. Number 13, Isaac Wegrzyn. Again, appreciate the way he decided to come out for football and jumped all in like the other guys. 3 of our 10 seniors are first-year players in high school. They've played other times in their lives, but first-year players in high school. It's taking some time for us to turn his wrestling skills into football skills, but there's a lot of overlap there, and I think even the casual fan can see the way he's progressed at cornerback for us and how he's much more effective and knows what he's doing so much more in these later parts of the season. I also just appreciate his willingness to stick with it and keep working and keep going out there and trying and sometimes failing and willing to continue on even when it's not working out the way you'd like it to. And I'd also just like to commend Isaac for having just that tough guy, wrestler, bull rider mentality. we could use more of that, frankly, and I just appreciate that from him and also just appreciate where he is in terms of just a desire to lead others and to communicate the gospel and some of those things as well. Number 52, Ballard. Lane has really shown a willingness to be pushed, to get pushed by his coaches, and to get coached in a way that maybe he didn't have in years past. And that is a tremendous thing for a young man to start to embrace and really be all about, that willingness to just continue to be pushed and to grow. He's pushed through a lot of pain this year. He's going to have a surgery at the end of football that will effectively end his wrestling career because he won't be able to wrestle this year to get some things fixed in his wrist. And he's just been having to push through a lot of things that aren't easy. And he again is a guy that can be really physically tough, and I appreciate that about him as well. So here's a guy that has learned to be coached better, has learned to get pushed, and is growing in his mental and physical toughness. I mean, those again are life skills you got to have that will benefit whether that's as a husband or a dad or part of a ministry or part of a business or whatever it might be. And I hope that Blaine continues to see the way the Lord is working through these experiences with some adversities in his senior year, and that he would continue to grow in that. Number 61, Benjamin Roth. Honestly, pound for pound, Benjamin is probably one of the most effective players I've ever coached. He does a lot of damage amongst the big trees in the trenches, and he's not exactly a big tree. And I think he knows he'd be okay with me saying that. Few guys his size can really get it done the way Ben does. I think Ben is admired and appreciated by his peers and his coaches more than Ben realizes, and maybe I should strive to make that really clear in his final couple weeks with us. I also think Ben is a good example of what this program needs more of. It needs more of some slightly undersized guys who execute and play hard every play, no matter what, no excuses, and just go be the best they can be. And Ben has realized that his best is enough. He's just got to do it the way he knows how he can do it, time and time again. And we just need more of that. I appreciate that about Ben. Number 64, Anthony Roth. Like his twin brother, Anthony is the type of guy we could use more of. He's quietly one of the best players on the team. Doesn't make a big deal about it. Not that any of these guys do. No one's sort of egomaniac or anything like that. But Anthony is probably exceptionally quiet, given his productivity and what he does and the things he's capable of. He's tough and durable, and he always plays hard. He leads by example, and everyone knows that if you're a lineman, O-line or D-line, the goal is to end up being kind of like Anthony in terms of just your willingness to go and be tough and to do the right thing each play, much like his brother Ben. I'm really interested to see what what Anthony does in the future. He's trustworthy, he's relatable, he's hardworking. I just think he could be a linchpin in any number of organizations, and it'll be fun to see what he does going forward, because he's just got a quiet confidence about him, but he's humble and loves to work with people and should be pretty interesting. Last but not least, number 81, Tommy Svoboda. Tommy's heart is bigger than his frame, right? I don't know how he fits it in there. He's got a huge heart. His impact is bigger than his frame too. I'll tell you that his performance against Columbus Lakeview will rank among my favorite performances by one of our players ever. I'd put it in my top 5 or 10 easy. On a night when a lot of guys were struggling to find their rhythm, struggling to trust one another, struggling to really play at their level of intensity and capability, Tommy just refused to be anything but the example of what we would want from one of our players. And even though he doesn't have the size and strength to do a few things, he certainly did what he could that night. And it was amazing and a lot of fun to watch and very inspiring. And so I appreciate Tommy for that. Tommy's a guy you can always count on for either a good laugh or a really good serious conversation about what he could be doing better or how the team could be doing better. He has this great balance of just great sense of humor and kind of a prankster that he comes across naturally, I think, from his parents, and has that seriousness, which he also gets from his parents too. This willingness to care and to talk and have important conversations. Overall, 2021 seniors, I'm really thrilled and proud of you. I think this video gets played at halftime of the Milford game. I have no idea how that's going because it's like Tuesday, the week of, as I film this. But I am confident that you have learned some lessons about what it looks like to succeed and then fail and learn from that failure and then try to rebuild what it looks like to succeed again, but make sure you're succeeding in a way that honors the Lord. And you've learned the lessons that football needs to teach you, and you've learned the lessons that you can really only learn at a place where you can freely talk about the gospel and how God is using football to grow you. And so I'm excited about where you guys are going to go, what you're going to be up to, and I can't wait to see what the future brings with you all. And hopefully we've got more than a couple games left.